Hi, this is Karen and I'm with inspiredbygraham.com. Today we're going to be featuring the beautiful Promenade stamp set from Stampin' Up along with the Garden Lane Designer Series paper. So let's bring in the Designer Series paper. There's lots of greens in this, not a lot of like bright cheerful colors, but I thought this Designer Series paper would really go well with the beautiful Promenade stamp set. So the colors that coordinate with Garden Lane are Garden Green, Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, Pear Pizzazz, Soft Seafoam, and Whisper White. This also coordinates with the Magnolia Lane Suite and the Garden Lane Suite from the 2019-2020 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. So let's take a look at the card quickly. We've got Mossy Meadow, Soft Seafoam, Garden Lane. We've got some burlap here, and we also have this die cut from the, let's see, what is this one? I can never remember it. It's the Stitch Labels Framelits. So we will be using this one today. So let's get started creating the card. It's actually a very simple and easy card. Any level stamper can stamp this card. So the products we'll be using, consumables. I've already cut out the die, so we'll do that label. Let's start from the bottom up. We've got our Whisper White envelope, which will be stamping that. The card base is it's Mossy Meadow, and it's cut 5.5 by 8.5, and it's already pre-scored at 4 1/4. I've got a piece of Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside panel. We'll be stamping on that. And the same size of the Soft Seafoam, 4 by 5 1/4, and the Garden Lane Designer Series paper, and that's cut 3 3/4 by 5. Either side works for this card, but I'm going to choose this one. So I'll be just making a little bit different card today, and we'll also be using a different sentiment. All right, so let's get started with the stamping. We'll need our Whisper White panel, envelope, and the die. So we'll start with the die. We'll need our piercing mat and some scrap paper, since we're working with photopolymer. Let's stamp the image. So on the stamp set, let me just bring that in quickly. I'm going to be using a couple different stamps from this set. I'm going to be using this one, this here, this flower, this coordinating flower here, and the sentiments we're going to be using are "You're stronger than most," and on the inside, "But even the strong need a shoulder to lean on. I'm here for you." Okay, so let's, we're going to stamp up the flower image with Soft Seafoam. Okay, and let me just show you a difference in colors here. So we've got this was stamped up. Doesn't really look that great, so we're just going to stamp it up full strength, and it's kind of like a watercolor wash effect. So we're just going to stamp that in the left corner here, and then we're going to stamp the sentiment using Mossy Meadow ink. So we'll bring that in here, and "You're stronger than most" is going to go in the upper right hand corner. All right, so we are all done with this one. We'll just set that aside. Now for the inside panel and the envelope. So we will be creating the outline image of the stamp or the flower using Mossy Meadow ink. And again, we're just going to ink that up. I like doing the outline because it's so much easier to fill on the inside. So since we've got that stamp out, let's do our envelope as well. So we'll just ink that up and stamp down. All right, so now we're going to fill in, and we're going to fill in with a Soft Seafoam ink. And this is super easy to line up because it's a photopolymer and you can see right through it. All right, so we're just going to keep this green theme going through all of our card. And just lining that up. And we've got a nice little flower image. All right, so now this is the inside panel. So we need the sentiment, or the message actually. I'm going to ink that up in the Mossy Meadow ink just because it's going to stand out a lot better than the Soft Seafoam. All right, so that looks super good. And we're just going to set that aside, and let's assemble the card. We're pretty much almost done. All right, so we'll bring in the card base. Again, this is Mossy Meadow. I'm gonna grab my adhesive, and I'm just going to run some adhesive on the back side at the top there. And we'll just open this up and just put that down. All right, so now the top, we are going to set the card base aside, and we're going to add the Garden Lane Designer Series paper onto the soft seafoam. And you'll want adhesive on all 4 sides. And I'm working with a 1/4 inch border on all 4 sides here, and I'm not getting that very straight, so let's try that again. Okay, that's much better. All right, so before we can adhere this onto our card base, we need to put our burlap ribbon on. So this is just the burlap ribbon from Stampin' Up. And we're using about probably 7 inches of burlap. I've got my ribbon scissors here. What I like about this burlap ribbon is if you look at it really closely, there's like a little, I'm not sure if you can see it, there's a little bit of glimmer on the burlap. So I don't know if you can really see that or not, but it is there. All right, so that's gonna go right on there. You'll need some Scotch tape, and I find Scotch tape is the easiest to use. And just gonna make sure I've got that somewhat in the middle. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm just gonna flip it around to the back side. So I got one side secure. And then I'm going to just bring this around. I'm kind of using the Designer Series paper, making sure I have my ribbon straight. And then we're just gonna flip it and add the other tape there. So we've got that pretty good and secure. Now I don't want to add adhesive here. I'm going to pop this up using 5 dimensionals. And these are the regular size dimensionals. There's 2 different size dimensionals that Stampin' Up makes, the minis, and these are the regular. So for this size, I'm going to be using the regular. And just going to release the backing there just by pressing on the center of the dimensional. All right, we'll flip this over, make sure our card is going correct direction, and we'll just lay this on with a 1/4 inch border. Now let's bring in the tag here, and we're going to flip this over, and again we're going to put 4 dimensionals, 1 in each corner, and you don't need any here because that's where your burlap ribbon is going to be going. So we're just going to press those again in the middle. And we've got those all released. And we'll just add it right. I'm looking at this piece here because I want that right in the middle of that burlap. That tells me it's straight. And then we'll just give it a nice little press. All right, so that is our card. And let's bring in our envelope here. All right, so everything is tied together, and the original one that I had made the other day. So for all your Stampin' Up needs, please visit my website at inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.